How do you lower the opacity or the transparency of an image in Photoshop? Or how do you change the transparency or opacity of a different layer in Photoshop? When you first open an image in Photoshop, notice that the background layer down here is locked, and I have no control over the opacity. I can't even click it. Simply click the lock layer, and now I can change the opacity. This is a simple way to change the opacity of a specific layer. Let's create a new layer. To do that, click the plus icon down at the bottom, and now I have a new layer. I can select the gradient tool, and up at the top, I can pick a gradient such as let's pick a red, and maybe this dark red to transparent. And if I select this gradient, maybe as a radial gradient, and I'm going to go ahead and reverse it in the gradient panel, I have some controls over the opacity as well. The opacity control here, I can change it to 0 opacity or anywhere in between, and then I can also change where that opacity changes. But that only affects this gradient layer. So I can move this like this, and then put this one over here. I can flip them as well, depending on how I want that to be. So now I have this on top, then I can change the opacity of this layer. So right here at the bottom, I can change the opacity, but that leaves a little bit of control to be desired. So the final way to think about opacity at a basic level is blending modes. So right now, this is at a normal blending mode, but there are many different blending modes. It's a good idea to just cycle through them. So for example, if I click blending mode, you can go to dissolve, darken, multiply, color burn. A nice one for this is probably screen, because I'm trying to maybe make a lens flare. So if I make screen, it's going to brighten the colors. And you can see already how that is a little bit more interesting. And then I can scroll this down like this, and now it is brightening and creating a flare. Once again, we can see what it did before and after. And if I go back to the normal blending mode and just change the opacity, it's not going to be as interesting of a blend. Once again, select screen, and of course I still have the opacity levels, and then I can even create a mask. So maybe I don't want it to affect the truck as much. I just want it to be in the background. So I can make a quick selection of the truck. Select the lower layer, make that selection, click new adjustment layer. Now I'll have this mask right here. I can just hold Alt or Option and drag that mask onto this layer, replace it, and hide this layer for later. Then if I select this layer, I can go Ctrl or Command I, and it'll inverse it. So that means that this gradient is only affecting the areas behind the truck. Hopefully this allows you to quickly change opacity and use basic blending modes in Photoshop to adjust the transparency of your layers. There's lots more to transparency, opacity, and difference modes and blending modes in Photoshop, but this is the basic overview just to get you started with basic opacity in Photoshop.